You know what? I think it's time we actually taste some of the wood from the pile. Yep, that's right. Today, I'm gonna try to make some wood-flavored ice cream. I know, but stick with me. I think it's gonna be really good. What's in that pile? Now, before I get to making the ice cream, I'm gonna start by making an ice cream dish out of the same type of tree we'll be using to flavor the ice cream later on. And okay, I can hear you now, but Justin, wood-flavored anything sounds bad. And yes, of course, wood itself doesn't really offer much in the way of flavor, but the smoke from many types of wood absolutely does. So yeah, wood flavored is kind of a cheeky mislead, but hey, burnt wood flavored it's close enough for me. As a lot of you probably already know, wood smoke has a long and rich history of being used to impart flavor into food, especially meat. Oak, hickory, alder, mesquite, maple, cherry, apple, the list goes on with each species imparting its own distinct flavor. So, which tree are we using in our recipe today? Well, we're looking at a piece of it on the lathe right now, and that's wood from the Cercocarpus tree, also known as the mountain mahogany, though that's an extremely misleading name as this is not an actual mahogany tree. So when you think fine, rich mahogany, that's not this. The mahogany wood you're almost certainly thinking of is from one of the tropical hardwood species of the genus Swayatinia, and I can't speak to whether or not that's any good for smoking food. Cercocarpus trees are native to the western US. They're more of a desert shrub-like tree. The one we've got on the lathe here is Cercocarpus ledifolius, or the curl-leaf mountain mahogany. No, the wood from these trees are not used to make fine furniture or house many leather-bound books, and even though they're widespread and plentiful, they're not used in commercial woodworking at all, as they grow on remote high-elevation mountainsides in small and twisted forms. But its wood is really cool. It's extremely dense, about twice as hard as something like hickory and on par with desert ironwood. And this also makes working with it a real challenge. It sometimes feels like you're working with stone and not wood. And there are plenty of times when I've been drilling or cutting into it that my tools have heated up to the point where the wood starts billowing smoke, which is what inspired this episode. I'll tell you, the smell of that mountain mahogany smoke was rich and delicious, and I just knew I wanted to use it to flavor something. And ice cream felt like just a really fun option to try. Speaking of ice cream, this dish is starting to take form. Again, this wood is a real challenge to work with. Sharp tools are an absolute must, but the reward is high, as you'll see later. This wood is just absolutely gorgeous. All right, this crack right here is really starting to stress me out. I actually really like leaving natural cracks in the things that I make, but this one's potentially ruinous for this dish, so I'm going to be forced to fill it in. And while it cures, let's grab another Cercocarpus log off the pile, cut it into some small pieces, and get to making that ice cream. Now, a lot of the smoked ice cream recipes I read involved putting store-bought ice cream into a smoker, but I A, don't own a smoker, and B, really much preferred the idea of the other method I read about, which involves simply lighting a piece of the wood of choice on fire and plopping it directly into your ice cream base of choice. Honestly, one of the most satisfying and fun things I've done for any recipe so far. After letting it infuse for 20 to 30 minutes, fish out the pieces of wood, and then just proceed to use whichever ice cream recipe you prefer. I'm using 2 cups of heavy cream and 1 cup of whole milk, now infused with the power of wood smoke, 2/3 cup of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon sea salt, and simmering until the sugar completely dissolves, about 5 minutes. Now we need 6 egg yolks, so let's head outside and grab some eggs. Hi ladies, how's your day going? Add them to a separate bowl, and while continually whisking, slowly add about 1/3 of the hot cream mixture. Then, again, while constantly whisking, add that yolk mixture back into the pot with the remaining cream. Now, while on medium-low heat, gently cook until it reaches about 170 degrees or is thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. Run it all through a fine mesh strainer and let cool to room temperature, then cover and refrigerate for at least 4 hours up to overnight. Then into an ice cream maker it goes, churning and churning until we've got ourselves some smoked ice cream. Now let's package this and place into the freezer to firm up. Speaking of firming up, that filled-in crack is cured, so let's finish off our dish. Once you get into exploring the wide variety of flavors that come with different species of wood, it gets really exciting, but just know, of course, that not any type of wood is going to work for this. Just some of the trees you'll want to avoid while smoking food include many types of softwoods like spruce, fir, pine, cypress, yew, some hardwoods like elm, eucalyptus, sycamore. A lot of types of wood are just going to leave your food tasting bitter or charcoaly, naturally, while others might even impart some toxins in there. The good thing is there are tons and tons of wood smoking resources online, so if you want to try this recipe out yourself with any specific type of wood, make sure to look it up first. In addition to meat, wood smoke is also used to flavor cheese, tea leaves, alcohol, nuts, spices, salt, and is even distilled into liquid smoke. Liquid smoke. I don't know, that's just always been one of those things that sounds kind of magic. I love it. Okay, the dish is pretty much done, but let's real quick grab one more piece of mountain mahogany wood and fashion it into a really simple spoon. I kind of like the shape I went with in the pine nut gelato episode, so I figured I'd play with that one again. Especially since hand carving this wood is such a pain. Doubly so because I'm so bad at sharpening knives and gouges. I mean, look at this. This gouge is barely doing anything at all, and my other ones did even less. But hey, we've got something here that'll put ice cream into my mouth, and that's enough for me. So let's get back to finishing the dish. I'm going to use these micro mesh pads to sand this ultra hard wood up to a 12,000 grit polish, add an oil finish, and look at those reds and deep browns just pop. This wood never disappoints. And I really wish you could all just feel this thing. It's so satisfyingly heavy and incredibly smooth. I love that we still have a tiny bit of that pink sapwood on the rim. The crack did stay filled in, so that's nice. And I'm just super happy with this. Now it's moment of truth time. Let's pull that mountain mahogany wood smoke flavored ice cream out of the freezer, add some of it to this mountain mahogany wood dish, and give it a taste. Oh, wow. I really like that. It doesn't like punch you right in the face. At first bite, it just kind of tastes like a really nice vanilla ice cream. Ooh, yeah. But then there's this like lingering smoky aftertaste that's really nice. I think adding roasted nuts to this is gonna pop it up to the next level. So let's do that real quick. That's the ticket. Holy smokes, this is good. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll see you again next time when we find out what's in that pile.